for that. But I do want to get started right away so we can get to our business of this evening with our business owners and our business owners. I want to thank you guys for being here tonight on time, because that's a really important thing for us. We generally like to start on time, as our Commerce Committee members know. But I want to welcome you officially to our January 21st Commerce Committee meeting. And certainly thank you guys for being here. I'm going to forego, I think, the um, forego the roll call because I think it would be just too um, tedious. So I did do sort of a roll call when I spoke out to each of you, and you did respond. So I thank you so much for that as well.
Hassan, you
Um,
didn't recognize me, so I want to let you know I'm here too.
oh yeah, Marguerite. I thought I said Marguerite, but
Oh,
okay.
maybe.
Hi, Marguerite.
Hi.
How are you?
All right. How are you?
Nice to see you. Nice to hear from you again.
Yes, you too.
Um, yeah. So yeah, I see Cheryl Saunders, of course. Randy Piers is here, Oliver, etc. But thank you guys all for being here this evening. And like I said, I'm going to forego the roll call for this evening, but I really want to jump right into our agenda. So I'm going to jump into my chairperson's report. It's going to be really brief. Okay, really, really brief. So just bear with me. There are a few things we need to go over very quickly, and I wanted to make sure everybody knows. The Commerce Committee has been pretty busy lately with a number of initiatives meeting with the Commerce Subcommittee meeting on this past Sunday. And the Commerce, just as for those, I know the Commerce Committee members know what we do, um, but outside of that, a lot of people don't know what we do. We have the Commerce Committee, but the Commerce Subcommittee is where we do a lot of the strategic planning for our committee. And so we met and talked about on this past Sunday and talked about a number of things that are going on in the community. But more specifically, we discussed our last on-site visit that we had with Bamboo Walk and how successful that was. Many of you guys know, if you live on this side of the Brooklyn, Randy, you might not know or be familiar with Bamboo Walk, but certainly they are one of the more premier restaurants in our community. Beautiful location, and we sat down with the owners, also with the general manager and the head chef, and we talked about a lot of their challenges, some of the things that they're facing, um, some of the things that they're facing in 2024 that they faced, as well as some of the things that they see uphill battles for 2025 and what they'd like to accomplish in terms of initiatives. So it was a lot of great dialogue that went back and forth. Rudy, I'm going to share some of the information with both you and Camille because I think these on-site visits are important. If at any point, and Camille, I'll also reach out to you to have you guys join us on that as well to talk a little bit about some of the services that Brooklyn Chamber will be offering our small business community. So just wanted to mention that as well. And we also had an on-site visit yesterday with Lily's Restaurant, which is directly across the street. Both of these restaurants are less than 5 years old, doing amazingly well. Beautiful decor, amazing cuisine. So, but we'll talk about that a little bit more a little later, Randy and Camille, so you guys can be pulled into that discussion. Also, we also talked about some of the things that we have on that are upcoming and that are on the horizon. We talked about our business networking breakfast that we always do. It's an annual event that we do where we invite all of our business owners, agency heads, nonprofit groups, elected officials under one roof, and we allow you guys to network and talk about some of the challenges and put you guys with the services and that kind of thing. So it's a pretty big deal. It is something that we provide breakfast. It's generally in the morning, usually starts at around 8:30 and goes to about 11. So we generally have breakout session, panel discussions, special guest speakers, keynote speakers, all that kind of stuff. So it's something that we're looking forward to. That'll be in March. We don't have the date as of yet. We're waiting to hear back from SUNY Downstate, which is where we will be having it. So as soon as we'll have that solidified, which I think will be this week, we'll get the date out to you guys. We also talked about the Sumptuous Sampler event, which is a big event that we have every year, that we have all of the restaurants under one roof where the community comes in and samples their signature dishes of these amazing restaurants. And it's a precursor to East Flatbush Restaurant Week, which generally follows right after the Sumptuous Sampler event. And those attendees who attended that Sumptuous Sampler event will be utilizing any discounts on drinks, breakfast, lunch, any of that kind of stuff at those establishments for the week of East Flatbush Restaurant Week, which starts July 11th and runs from July 12th. Okay, so just wanted to also mention that. We also talked about, and I don't want to get so much into the weeds, but we talked about some really deep issues in the community that some of the businesses are, some of the complaints that are coming from the residents in the community by some of the businesses who are not necessarily good neighbors, and it are terribly impacting the quality of life of those residents. So we've come up with a strategic plan on how to address those as well, and also talked a great deal about a event space that is operating as a club, which is now renamed XXL Events, but it used to be formerly Lotus Lounge. This particular business does not have a liquor license. However, they've been selling liquor. They've been closed down. There've been a couple of shootings there, and it's just a general, at this point, a blight in the community. So we are working certainly hand in hand with the residents, along with NYPD and certainly our elected officials, to see what we can do to help mitigate that situation, because it's a pretty desperate situation at this point. So we're looking into how we're moving with this as well, moving forward. So just wanted to kind of give you guys all of that. I think I'm going to end there because I want to get to some of the other things that we have to do this evening, and I want to make sure that we did that. So in lieu of, I'll take Chairman's personal privilege. In lieu of approving our minutes, I want to now bring up our special guest, and someone I have respect for, and in what he does on a consistent basis for small businesses in our community. And I'm really so excited to have him here to talk about all of the wonderful services that he and his organization has for small business owners. So appreciate the small business owners who are on here. But if Mr. Randy Pierce, who is the CEO and president of the Brooklyn Chamber, are you ready, sir? Are you available?
I am ready.
All right, sir. So you go right ahead. The floor is yours.
So first of all, thank you, Hassan. Appreciate you having me here. You mentioned Bamboo Walk. I remember the opening a couple of years ago. It's on Utica
Yes,
Avenue,
that's right.
right?
You were there.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah,
And
that's right.
and I'd love to hear more about how they're doing. By the way, Hassan, you inspired me more than you knew. If you look at my attempt to grow a beard these days, so I appreciate you also being
No
a role
problem.
model for me on that front. I actually have a presentation that I can share, and just for everyone on the call, Camille Hastic is on. She's our vice president of external affairs, and she also can follow up with anyone who has any specific questions. But I'm going to go through actually our standard membership presentation that we provide to all businesses that are connected to the chamber. I'm going to preface this by saying it's a little bit long, so I'll go through it some pieces rather quickly, and I'll stick to the ones that are really the most relevant for the small business community. I'll also preface by saying much of our services are free, and that's because we have the chamber, we have our economic development arm, which provides a whole host of technical assistance programming, and then we have a CDFI. So we have a Brooklyn Alliance Capital. We are as well a micro lender. So let me jump right in and see if I can share this.
Sure.
And just let me know if it comes up on the screen.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, Farah, are you on also? Farah Nelson?
Yes, I am on, and the meeting is recording.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much.
All right. So is that on the screen, Hassan?
I don't see it yet. Not on my screen. Does anybody else see it?
It's on
Yes,
everyone.
yes,
It
yes.
is.
It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, okay, well, go ahead. Go right ahead.
All right,
Don't
great.
worry about it.
So the chamber's been around since 1918. We're going to, so we're an institution. We're not an organization, I like to say. We have three organizations: the Chamber of Commerce, which is your more typical membership association. We have the Brooklyn Alliance, which is our economic development arm. It enables us to partner with government on many different levels to provide all levels of technical assistance to the business community. Much of those services are free. And then we have Brooklyn Alliance Capital, which was chartered in 2017. We are a microlender. And you'll see once I get to the slides on the Brooklyn Alliance Capital, we're here to serve Brooklyn. We're here to serve Brooklyn's small business community. And in particular, we're here to serve the MWBE community. One of the things, we're very visual. You're going to see a lot of pictures in this presentation, but one of the things that COVID really helped us to do is to change the service delivery model. It used to be you join the chamber and you come to us. Now it's we come to you, mainly because we realize that businesses need sort of direct services right in the communities, right where they're at. COVID showed us that there's a lot of vulnerabilities. So you're going to see a lot of our team members out and about, but it enables us to become really a 51 neighborhood chamber of commerce. So we are borough-wide, and we're serving the community across the boroughs. We do four things: promotion, support, advocacy, convening. That's the four pillars of what we do. Promotion is really about the businesses. How do they get more exposure so that they can grow their business, they can sell more products and services. Support is our technical assistance programming. We were always ahead of the game in terms of technical assistance. So I'm going to go through all of our different types of technical assistance programs. Advocacy is the work that we do with our policymakers and our legislative officials in order to really represent the voice of the small business community, so that we are sort of communicating what the challenges are on the ground. And then convening is our ability just to bring people together. Usually we do this around industries, and we do that a lot through our committees. Brooklyn Buzz is our signature publication. It's our e-newsletter. It goes out every other week. We have about 22,000 circulation, business leaders, community leaders, entrepreneurs, and others. It's a good way to keep up to date in terms of what the chamber is doing. If you go to our webpage, brooklynchamber.com, you can sign up for the newsletter on the bottom of the page. In addition, we have sponsorship opportunities at events. We have our membership directory. We do member spotlights, and we do a lot on social media: Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and X. And there's just a sampling of some of our social media outreach. We do ribbon cuttings. The good news part of this story, and I think, Hassan, you know this, it's a statistic that the city likes to tout. 1 in 7 businesses in New York City have started since COVID. A lot of those businesses have been here in Brooklyn. What we don't really talk about are the ones that closed down. That's a whole other story, and we could talk about that some other time. But in terms of ribbon cuttings, in terms of promotion, the chamber is there to provide logistical support for ribbon cuttings, and we do it all over the borough. All types of businesses, even food carts. Corner Kitchen is actually a food cart. So, we're happy to do this. We're happy to get these businesses off to the right, on the right foot as they start their entrepreneurial journey.
Absolutely.
So in terms of technical assistance, we administer the Brooklyn Business Solutions Center. It's at 9 Bond Street. That's downtown Brooklyn. But most of the services are accessible online now. It's partnership with the Department of Small Business Services. So basically, any entrepreneur or business can access any one of these types of services: financing assistance, MWB certification, legal support, business courses, government facilitation. For new entrepreneurs, this is actually the first stop that we recommend in their journey. For someone who's thinking about starting a business, we have an amazing course called Business Basics. It's an 8-session course that really does walk a new entrepreneur through the ins and outs of starting a business here in New York City, and it helps them to sort of think through the business plan and all the other sort of variables that they're going to need to consider before they take that leap. So we always recommend Business Basics as a good first step for anyone who's thinking about opening a business. But if you already have a business and you need any one of these other supports, you can register online at the Business Solution Center, or you can walk in. You can walk in at 9 Bond Street. We do neighborhood economic development. This is more the commercial corridor approach to merchant organizing, beautification programming, bid formation, and the like. We do this in targeted areas where either SBS or a local elected official has provided support in order for us to do this work. So for example, we spent 3 years working in Canarsie, Rockaway Parkway, Flatlands Avenue, to organize the Canarsie Merchants Association. We did a project on Avenue U in the Homecrest community. We were up in Knickerbocker doing some work up in Bushwick. Currently, we're doing just a little bit north of you, Parkside, Flatbush Avenue between Parkside and Empire. We're doing the Merchant Association. They had a merchant association. We're trying to bring that merchant association back. But this is more the commercial corridor approach, and it's a sort of a wider engagement than the one-on-one types of business services that we do. This picture here is actually in Homecrest. We did this in partnership with Homecrest Community Services. We did a beautification project just to kind of clean things up and baseline it before they were able to access additional sanitation services. Probably the most impactful program that we launched during COVID, which is still operating today, is the Small Business Resource Network. Basically, it's an outreach and assessment program for small businesses, right? It's based off of the social services model, where we go out, we do the assessments, we create service plans, and we connect small businesses where they're at to whatever they need. And many of those times it's third-party providers, whether it's the city, whether it's the state, whether it's sort of other organizations that provide assistance. But this enables us to put teams on the ground in the community, literally knocking on doors and showing up at a business and providing the support on site. In this particular program, we speak 6 different languages in-house. But all 5 chambers of commerce, all 5 borough chambers of commerce run the same program. So we could also borrow capacity from some of our partners, right? So, maybe we don't, maybe the Queens Chamber speaks a language that we don't have capacity in-house. We could obviously borrow that capacity from the Queens Chamber. And it's also a good way for the 5 chambers to actually work together in a coordinated way. I have to say this was probably one of the biggest benefits of coming together during COVID was the relationship that the Brooklyn Chamber developed with its companion chambers in the other boroughs.
Gotcha.
These are some pictures of our field teams. And actually, some of you on the call may know one of our team members, Jonathan Maribel. That's him there. He's one of our senior business support specialists. You'll see him out and about, particularly in your area. I think he covers much of your area in terms of his service delivery. Mark Caserta is our Vice President of Small Business Support. And Mark used to run the Fifth Avenue Business Improvement District in Park Slope. Gotcha. Just in terms of the numbers, citywide, this is across all 5 chambers. We've touched almost 40,000 businesses now, about 10,000 in Brooklyn. We have a sub-program called Open and Online. So for businesses that don't have a website or have an inadequate website that needs redesign or maybe need SEO optimization, we actually provide that in-house for free, and businesses could access that. We do have a waiting list right now for it, but it is one of our most popular components to the Small Business Resource Network. And what we realized during COVID was that so many small businesses didn't have an adequate digital presence. Yet the nature of commerce itself had changed, and we needed to really help them to get up to speed in order for them to continue to function. Much of our businesses that we work with through the SBRN are MWBE businesses, and And for us, it's really become a signature assistance program. And once again, these are all free services for small businesses in the community. And once again, it's just modeled off of the social services model, where we're really the outreach and assessment teams developing service plans and then being the connector to whatever else is needed. We do some work with manufacturers. We've historically done a lot of work with manufacturers, particularly food manufacturers. There's still a good presence of food manufacturers throughout the borough. We do trade shows. We do certificates of origin. We manage the Brooklyn Made certification. So in terms of financing, we chartered the Brooklyn Alliance Capital in 2017. We didn't have 2 nickels to lend between 2017 and COVID, but COVID actually opened up an opportunity for us to capitalize the BAC. And the big breakthrough really came when we partnered with the Social Justice Fund, with Greg Bishop and the Joe and Clara Sy Foundation, and we launched the Brooklyn Accelerate Loan Program. So the real unique innovation around that particular program was the underwriting didn't rely on the sort of traditional criteria of credit scores, guarantors, and collateral, the things that kept a lot of businesses out of accessing financing. But it was a character-based lending model, so that somebody in the community, whether it's another business owner, it could have been a religious leader, it could have been a community board representative, could sort of vouch for the business. Obviously, we do some underwriting. We look at the P&Ls and we look at the current financial conditions, but it didn't rely on those factors that generally end up restricting a lot of businesses from accessing capital. Very proud of the results there. The chamber did 800,000 in microloans, so that goes up to 15K at 0%. True Fund, our partner, did the balance to. We did a total of 2.5 million. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We did a total.
No,
of
I was just
million.
agreeing with you. I'm very familiar with True Funds. They've come to our meetings as well. Yes, sir.
So, and this is a revolving loan fund. So we are relending capital as we get repayment. We are focusing now on expansions. So businesses that are looking to expand, maybe they already have a successful model and they're looking to either grow. It could be virtually or digitally. It could be growing into a new location. It could be expanding their existing location. It could be, franchising. That's what we're focusing on for the balance of this particular program. But we have other capital lending pools as well. So Stevenson Joseph, some of you may know him. This is him on the top left. And he's our finance guy. And the other thing is that we have partnerships with almost all the banks that are represented in Brooklyn, as well as the large CDFIs. And we have some really good ones here in New York City. So much of what Stevenson will do is really assess the need and try and figure out where the best match is. So, our loan portfolio is still pretty small. It's about 1.1 million. But we also, we still have money to lend. So we probably have another $1 million that we could lend. But once again, we're connecting a lot of businesses to the right fit in terms of whatever their capital needs are. We've always done workforce development services. The Good Help program is our staffing service for small businesses. So, a small business that's looking to fill a position, if they provide us with the specs, we can do the vetting, we can do the sourcing, and then and hopefully make the right match. We have a partnership with the Manufacturers Assistance Center of New York to promote downstate apprenticeships. They're an upstate organization. We're their downstate partner. And then we do 3 career fairs every year, Brooklyn Bridge to Employment career fairs. We just did one at St. Francis College. We move it around the borough, so we're always looking for good venues to do these. Once again, we do about 3 of these a year. Advocacy. This is Camille. This is her area of expertise. We do a lot in terms of working with elected officials one-on-one. We do public testimony. We have legislative visits to Albany and DC. We have a very active government affairs committee that Camille operates. And we're constantly, keeping abreast of what is impacting our business community throughout Brooklyn, and hopefully representing the voice of that business community when it comes to some of the policies and legislation that could either positively or negatively impact them. It's just some pictures from our Washington legislative visit, which takes place in the fall, and then our Albany legislative visit, which will take place in March. We do a big Brooklyn night reception in Albany where we showcase all Brooklyn-made food and Brooklyn-made products. We do a lot in terms of events. We have networking events, which are generally, just they're really fun networking events. We find a
They
good
are. I've gone
venue.
to a few of them. They're
We-
great. They're great.
And we like to find and showcase sort of new venues as well. But these are very low cost events that we put together. We just bring people together so that they can network and hopefully make connections and do business with each other. Our signature events are our big ticket items. So if you look at this column in the middle, we sort of kick off the signature event schedule with the Black History Month celebration at Weeksville. That will be February 20th this year. By the way, this is a free event. So if you go on our website, brooklynchamber.com events, you can register for that. We do a Asian American Heritage Month celebration at Industry City in the month of May. We have a big energy summit that we do at the Navy Yard in June. And that's really one of the industry focuses that we concentrate on, mainly because of the decarbonization goals that New York City and New York State have set forth that are going to impact us all. They're going to impact us as consumers, as residents, as business owners. So the Energy Summit kind of keeps you in the loop in terms of what the changes are, what new technologies are emerging, what some of the policy considerations are. So that's in June. We do a real estate event in the fall, Best of Brooklyn Real Estate Showcase, where we like to highlight positive developments across the borough. We have a not-for-profit summit, which we do in September. That's done at St. Francis College. That's usually a well-attended event. And then we kind of end the year with our annual meeting and winter gala, which we also have a trade expo, and that's at El Carib, and that happens in December. We do some educational events, lunch and learns. We have an economic development breakfast that's coming up in April. But we have a pretty robust event schedule. This doesn't even cover everything because we'll have some one-offs that we'll also present whenever opportunity sort of comes up. So we're doing a lot on the event side. Maggie Butte-Lucien is our vice president of events, and she runs a tight ship. So happy to promote our events.
Good. Absolutely.
This is some pictures from our Energy Summit. This is actually Bill Weir from CNN. He's the climate correspondent. We have an expo at the Energy Summit as well, so we like to showcase new technologies. One of the focuses this year for us is going to be tourism. We do manage the Brooklyn Tourism Council. The challenge with Brooklyn tourism is that 63 million visitors came to New York. We almost got back to pre-pandemic levels in terms of volume. 15 million make it to Brooklyn, so we are by far the second most visited borough outside of Manhattan. I think Queens is like a distant third, but the challenge here is that they'll come over the bridge and they'll visit maybe Dumbo and Williamsburg and Point's North. But what we really want to do is promote a borough-wide tourism strategy that gets people to really experience, all the neighborhoods, whether it's Weeksville, whether it's Coney Island, whether it's Canarsie, you name it. There's a lot of assets. There's a lot to see. There's a lot to do. But part of it is we have to get the word out on a sort of neighborhood level. What we can showcase. The other challenge, and this is not something that the Brooklyn Chamber can address, is but we've got really, really inadequate hotel capacity in Brooklyn, and some of that capacity was lost over the years to other populations that were using hotel rooms. So if you try and get a hotel room in Brooklyn, with the few that are available, you're going to really pay through the nose. And there's a special permit law that was put in place that really has restricted any new hotel construction. So we've got a lot of challenges, the Airbnb short-term rule as well. So a lot of challenges just around tourism and trying to capture more of the tourism here in Brooklyn because there's just really nowhere to stay. But beyond that, we'll do our part in terms of promoting our tourism assets across the borough and doing our best to convince visitors to get out of Dumbo and Williamsburg and come see the rest of the borough. We do international work. Brooklyn's an international brand. We've always done exporting assistance and trade missions and trade delegations. We host a lot of foreign delegations now because foreign delegations that are coming to New York want to understand, why are my kids talking about Brooklyn? So we've hosted 46 foreign delegations in the last 2.5 years. We do about 3 trade missions a year. And we've got some funded projects now too with certain countries. South Korea probably is number 1 on the list. And we run 2 retail stores. So this was part of our extending our equity agenda so that we could encourage more of our Brooklyn makers and designers to get more exposure through shelf space, through leveraging the Chamber's marketing assistance. But we actually operate 2 physical retail stores, Brooklyn Made stores. One is at Industry City. We opened that almost 2 years ago. We opened a second one downtown at City Point, and we have online at brooklynmadestore.com. So far, so good. We're not yet profitable, but we're getting there. But the more important thing is, we've showcased over 160 independent Brooklyn makers and designers. We also have an art gallery in the back of each of the stores. We rotate the artists every other month and give artists some exposure. And this has really been an interesting endeavor for the Chamber, but it fits right into mission in terms of helping our smallest of businesses, in this case, many independent makers and designers, to really get the word out about their products. So it's apparel, jewelry, housewares, packaged foods, beauty supplies, books. We've got pet products now as well. And if you haven't checked them out, it's worth a visit. Either one of the stores, you're going to find much of the same products. And we operate these as regular retail. So the vendors get paid no matter what. We take the risk on the product. So, we're proud of what we've been able to do so far. We're almost on the cusp of making this self-sustaining without some grants, but we're getting there. And we got a good team that works on this store. There's just some of the different brands. Bodega Cat tends to be one of our most popular brands. We got a lot of neighborhood-based products as well. But anything that is branded Brooklyn usually does pretty well in terms of the products themselves. Our friends from Brooklyn Tea. We've got committees. MWBE committee is one of our largest committees. We help with certification work. We help with procurement, government affairs, which Camille runs. And then our industry committees are healthcare, life sciences, real estate and development, tech, energy, the Tourism Council, and workforce development. And that's about it. I will say that the one thing I like to, one analogy that I like to use in terms of the Chamber is, you join a gym to build up your body, you join a chamber to build up your business. But just like joining a gym, if you just pay the membership and you don't show up and use the equipment, nothing's going to happen. So you have to treat the Chamber like a gym membership. You got to not just join, but you got to show up to things, come to our events, leverage our committees, leverage our staff expertise. We have 35 professionals who are experts in all different areas, and really, really make the Chamber work for you so that you're building up your business in all these different capacities. So let me stop the share. Sorry if you hear my cat in the background, but
it's all right.
We locked him up for this, so he's meowing away there.
No, this was really great, Randy. Thanks so much for giving us this wonderful presentation of what the Brooklyn Chamber is doing. I learned actually quite a bit. I know you guys, but all the stuff that you're doing now is just incredible. So I want to take a few minutes really to open up the floor to either our committee members as well as our small business owners to have any questions. Randy, so you go right ahead. Yep. I'm not sure who's first. I know our committee members are. Any questions? If you don't have any, it's okay. but if you have some, Randy's here to answer a few of them for you.
I have a question. I'm a member and a proud member, and the chamber has been so helpful to me. But I'm
And what
wondering,
And Cheryl, you come to
Cheryl,
things. Cheryl, you come to events. This is the key.
yes, I do regularly.
Yep.
But I was wondering if the chamber has a list of professionals or services, like, for instance, accountants, pest control, junk removal, that you could recommend.
Yeah, we only refer other members. So if you have a particular need, just send the inquiry our way. You can send it to Camille. We'll do a query and we will send you the lists.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. I have a quick. I have to actually. Question, is around workforce development, and the reason why I have that question is because of some of the that insight came through from our on-site visits with both Bamboo Walk and Lily's Restaurant. I'm sure, Randy, you've been around for a while, so you know workforce development, keeping quality employees has always been a daunting task for anybody in the hospitality industry, and it's no stranger to them. So, can you just talk a little bit about how you walk through business who have the need, because both of those businesses have workforce development.
Great. So you're coming in a little bit choppy, Hassan, but I got the question. So let me, we have it's really the Good Help Staffing program that we have. We call it Staffing Service. May O is our staff lead. Basically, it's a matchmaking service. So if you have specs or a job description that you can provide us, we may ask you to refine it or ask some additional details, but we put it out through our different networks, and then we do the sourcing and the vetting, and then hopefully send you only the candidates that are the right fit. So it's a value added service. It saves a lot of time for the business owners. And in addition to that, it piggybacks off of the 3 job fairs that we do every year too. So we would also encourage the businesses to participate in the job fairs as well.
Fantastic. Okay, great. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, that was my problem. So we had a lot of and I had one last question for anyone else. And this is around the microloans that you guys had given. I know that you do microloans up to 15K is what you said, but what's the average, usually the average amount that you approve, or is there an average?
So the 15K was within that one particular program, the Brooklyn Accelerate Loan Program, the character-based lending program. So we go higher than that in some instances, but I would say the average is probably between 15 and 20K.
Okay, that's because that also came up with the on-site visits as well, so that's great.
Yep.
Okay, wonderful. Anybody else have any questions for Mr. Pierce?
But I would say we also have the other partners, right, that we bring in, particularly on larger deals, right? So if you qualify to work with one of the other CDFIs, we can be the conduit to getting in contact with them, and or commercial lenders, right? So pretty much all of the banks that are represented in Brooklyn are connected to the chamber, and Stevenson has good relationships across the board. So we try and find the right fit depending upon what the need is.
Gotcha. Great. Any other questions, guys?
Good evening. This is Allison Martinez. I just wanted to ask what the lag time is for the free website program.
It's a great question,
Yeah, 'cause
Allison.
that I want to refer to it, but I just want to know what their expectations should really be.
Yeah. So it's the actual production time, as long as the business is cooperative and is responsive, is actually not that bad. I think they knock them out like within a month and a half. The challenge is, Allison, right now is just that we have a waiting list and we're working through the queue. So my suggestion is you try and get your application in as soon as possible. And then the longer wait time will be just getting through the queue. Once you're through the queue and we're working with you, it's usually a pretty streamlined process. And we've done 800 of these in the last 2 years. So the developers know what they're doing, and they have a good formula in terms of how they approach it.
Okay. And just follow up is that like I run a small business incubator in this community. We did a pilot. So but is there a requirement that they already be incorporated before they could access this?
Yeah, there is. Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Awesome. Any last questions for Randy before we let him go? Because he was kind enough to be here early as well.
Yes,
So he's on time.
Hassan.
Oops.
Yes.
Yeah, this is George. Just a quick question, because I know Randy mentioned at the beginning that some of their services are free, which imply not all of them. So I just wonder if this workforce development is part of the
It's free. Yeah, so all of the technical assistance, George, most of the technical assistance programs are free. So the Business Solutions Center and Small Business Resource Network, workforce development. The promotional stuff, joining the chamber is more the membership driven stuff. So the promotional stuff, coming to events and things of that nature, that's the stuff that's more traditional chamber sort of world, and that is through membership.
Thank you.
Great. And I think Sabin, you had a question as well, right?
Yes, I did. Thank you. Hi, it's Sabin. My question is more data driven. Do we fully understand why we only get, say, 15,000 of the visitors in terms of tourism in Brooklyn when compared to, obviously we know the reason, because Manhattan is hard to become, it's competitive. Because I would think that as you look at Coney Island, Clinton Hill, just across Brooklyn, I mean, there's so much to choose from. Besides the hotel that you mentioned, do you know exactly, have you taken data to
Sabine, it's
tackle
15 million, not 15,000.
Oh, 15 million. Sorry about that.
Yeah, so it's not a shabby number. We are, like, Queens is a distant third. If Queens comes in at a little under 2 million of the 63 million. So in terms of our market share, we do better than everybody else in terms of capturing New York City tourism. I think there's a lot of factors. I think hotels and they're having the ability to stay here in Brooklyn is certainly one of them, and part of it is marketing. New York City tourism, good partners of ours, but a lot of what they do is promote New York City, and in that promotion, they're promoting Manhattan. So, we're trying to pick up this slack, so to speak, and doing more to sort of market our tourism assets throughout the borough. And that's what Visit Brooklyn.nyc. We want it to become this one-stop portal so that if you're looking to curate a day or a week in Brooklyn, like, we'll be able to kind of serve it up to you on a platter. So that you'll know all the different places that you can go. But I don't want to play the sort of hotel issue, because it also means that day trippers who have family, for example, in Brooklyn, and maybe they're coming for the holidays, like, they don't even have the capacity to stay near where their family members are, right? Like, not to get political here, but the short-term Airbnb issue is a real issue for people who got family members in Canarsie, where I grew up, and they want to spend the holidays there, and they're not going to spend $600 a night in a hotel downtown or in Manhattan. So they're kind of stuck. And that's a very real issue for the day trippers. I'm not talking about like foreign tourists and whatnot, but the day trippers who are coming in here because they probably have connections and family members in the borough, and they'd like to stay here, but they don't have that ability.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay, great. Well, I think this is a good ending point, because we need to get along with the rest of our meeting tonight. But I want to thank Randy Piers, the CEO and president of the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce, and also Camille this evening.
Great.
And I just want to make
Thanks,
sure that.
Hassan. You take care.
Thank you, guys. Good to see you. And Hassan, you can share all of our contact information with everyone, okay?
Will do. And I just have one quick thing just to let you guys know, Randy, before you go, we are scheduling, the Commerce Committee is scheduling a series of walkthroughs for the Avenue D Business Corridor, the Utica Avenue Corridor, the Nostrand Avenue Corridor, and the Church Avenue Corridor.
Yep.
So we'd love to partner with you guys
Yep.
on maybe something on Chamber on the Go and
Well,
that kind of thing.
we should coordinate with Mark Caserta. We should be represented on each one of those walks.
Absolutely. Okay. Awesome.
All right.
Great. So I will be reaching out to you guys.
We'll dedicate a staff member to go on each of those walks. You just got to let us know the dates and whatnot.
We'll do.
Okay. Great.
So Randy,
Thank you, everybody.
and Camille, you guys don't have to
Bye,
hang on,
Hassan.
but thanks again. All right, and take care.
Okay. Bye.
Yep. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. All right. So thank you so much, ask questions. The business owners who are on, I hope you guys got something out of that. This is also part of our series for you to ensure that we bring you up nonprofits that may and even agencies that support your business.
You're breaking
With
up.
those things.
It's getting worse.
Oh boy, gosh, that's terrible. Okay, hang on a minute.
All right, is that better?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. I don't know what's happening, guys. I'm just,
You have an echo, Hassan, in the back, so there might be something that needs to be muted. You have
yeah,
this echo.
is this better?
Yes.
It is. So mute the other one.
Okay.
If you can hear me, just hang on. I think I got kicked out again. Hold on.
I can hear you.
We could hear you.
You guys hear me?
Yes, I could hear you.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Yes.
Are you talking?
Yes, yeah, but you're still going in and out.
I'm talking about.
The other one was better.
Yeah.
Hassan, can you
Going to
just use a
attempt
phone?
to- Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Come out of
Actually.
that room.
Oh, his phone?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, fantastic. So I apologize again, guys. I don't know what's happening. Like I said, I hate WebEx and it doesn't love me either. So with that being said, I was just making sure that our business owners knew and understood that we're continuing to bring these types of guest speakers to address some of the business challenges you may have, to let you guys know that you're not in this by yourself, and that you do have support from not only the community, but also the agencies and the other nonprofits. But more importantly, we want to make sure that we always have your best interests at heart. As long as you're a good neighbor, you have to be a good neighbor, okay, just to let you know as well, okay? So thank you guys for sitting through that. So I just wanted to get right into the rest of our agenda this evening. Commerce Committee members will approve the minutes towards the latter part of probably be one of the last things we do this evening, okay? Because I want to make sure that we get through our business owners who've been patiently waiting for us this evening. So just as an FYI, I know that Charmaine from Sugar on the Go LLC is on, right?
Yes,
I
sir.
know.
Yes, guys. I'm here.
Great. And I know that Chase the Flavors LLC is here, being represented by Mr. Patrick Agard. I also know that Legacy Lifestyle LLC, you have Shanduk McFadder, who is on the line as well. And is Quillock's Restaurant and Lounge on?
Yes, sir. I'm Israel.
Israel, yes. Israel, how are you, sir? Nice to see you again.
Thank
All
you, sir.
right.
I'm good.
Okay, so great that we have everybody here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in the order that people came in. So, or who I saw come in. So we'll start with our first business, Sugar to Go LLC at 2614 Newkirk Avenue. They are a renewal application, and they're for liquor, wine, beer, and cider. Those are the things that they're applying for. And so, if you permit, if Charmaine, if you take a quick minute to really, for those who may not be familiar with your business, really talk a little bit about your business, and then the committee will certainly ask you any relevant questions, and then we will vote at the end of all of once we've gone through this exercise with the other business owners on the line. Okay, so go right ahead, Charmaine.
Sure. Hi guys. So Sugar, part of the original Sugarcane restaurant. So we kind of branched off and opened this branch in Flatbush, which is really good because I spent a lot of years in Flatbush. I lived on 40th Street for a long time, went to Brooklyn College. So we're back in the bush. We are a Trinidadian restaurant. We have a really nice space. We do some private events, but it's mostly, a really nice restaurant that's open to the public. We were privileged enough to host Community Board 17 and their annual kind of meeting soiree in the summertime, which was super cool. That's about it. If you guys have any questions.
Okay, awesome. Committee members, do you have any questions for Charmaine from Sugar to Go? Don't be shy now. All right. Well, let me start off. Maybe they're just a little shy. Let me start off. So can you tell us what the relevant square footage is of your place in terms of the number of people you can provide for? Can you talk about the hours that you're open, that kind of thing?
Sure. So we're closed on Mondays, Tuesday through Thursday. We open from 5, and the kitchen closes around 11 o'clock. Fridays and Saturdays we open a little later, so the kitchen closes at midnight. And on Sunday we have like a long all-day brunch from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. We close at 9. The square footage, I'm not even quite sure. But we accommodate in both rooms about 75. If the outdoor space is open in the summertime, I think we add another 20 persons onto that outside of the 75. So that's basically, I'm not sure, I really do not know the square footage offhand.
It's okay. All right.
Yeah, so in both rooms, I think it's about 75.
Okay. And any questions, committee members? I thought I heard some committee members.
Hi, Hassan. I know you can't see us raising our hand, right? Because you're on the phone.
No, I can't. I'm sorry. I'm on my phone. Sorry.
Okay. I just wanted to get the time. I couldn't quite hear what you said about your time that you're open on Friday and Saturday.
Fridays and Saturdays, generally we close the kitchen at 1, between 12 and 1, and then Sundays we close it at 9 p.m.
Okay, thank you. And Hassan, is there any police report or anything?
Yeah, I'm going to get to that. I just want to make sure that we ask any questions that that any of the other members may have.
I do have one more question. How long have you been there?
2 years.
Location? 3?
2 years.
Oh, 2. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, Hassan, this is George.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hey, George.
Yeah. Yes. One of the you asked one of the question I was asking, but the other question, because I was there when CV17 had their thing. I love the place is nice, but my question is, the space where CV17 had the function, is that part of the restaurant or is that like a separate room that you rent out?
No, it's part of the restaurant.
Oh,
We use it for those types of occasions if somebody wants something separate from the other part of the restaurant, but it's part of the restaurant generally.
Oh, okay. So that part includes, when you mentioned 75 people, that includes that part too.
it does.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Anyone else? Last questions. Going once, going twice. All right, gone. So with that being said, thank you, committee members for asking those questions. We appreciate that. There is a incident report. We always request an incident report, just for the record,
Okay.
from the 67 precinct, to sort of get a picture over the past year, whether or not there was any incidents over there, that kind of problems, that kind of thing. So there was one incident. I'm going to mention it from 1/15/2024 through 1/15/2025. There were 3 911 calls for an intoxicated male, for one intoxicated male, and 2 for compliant. It says 2 for compliant, but it says the status is that it's closed. So obviously, there was 3 people had called. There were 3 911 calls for a male who was intoxicated, and that was it. But the status on that is closed, and that was the only incident at that location. Okay.
Okay.
Were you aware of this, Charmaine, at all? Did you know about that?
I vaguely remember. I don't think I was here that particular evening, but normally when whoever's managing that night always leave a little written report on. I think there was someone that was unruly, and they
Sure.
try not to handle those people themselves. So they
Right.
definitely would call NYPD to come in and deal with them, as opposed
Gotcha.
to staff trying to deal with someone that could potentially be dangerous or
Right.
misbehaving.
Right. Absolutely. No, I completely understand. Okay. Great. Well, thank you so much, Charmaine, for going through that exercise with us. We really appreciate it. So just hang on just a little bit, okay? And
Hassan, someone is
Yeah.
asking if there's security.
we
sorry, who's
actually-
asking for that?
So no, we
Adele.
actually do. Okay, Mr. Dell, we actually don't use security. We've never had. We really pretty good, and there's very, very rarely outside of that we don't have any incidences. So we actually do not use security. We've never had to. We don't have that kind of overwhelming, unruly crowd that we would require security at the door. So we actually do not use it.
Gotcha. Thank you, Khadija. I didn't realize that someone had asked a question.
No problem.
Yeah, and thank you so much for Charmaine for addressing that. We appreciate it. I mean, it sounds like it was just a one-off kind of thing, and that happens, I'm sure, in business. But I mean, you guys manage your business, so just be mindful of that moving forward, especially when we're moving into a new year. So when we have to repeat this exercise again, the incidents obviously will be down and that kind of thing. So you work with your staff on that, and also make sure that you stay in contact with the 67 precinct as well.
We do. I actually call them myself if I need to.
Good, and because community affairs group does a good job with Sergeant Pierre and Sergeant Delano Skinner. I don't think that they're on this evening, but they do a good job with making sure that they address those things as well and support that effort. So, but thank you so much, and hang on, and we'll get to you. Yes.
Yeah, just a quick question. I just wanted to be clear on something, because the call that were made for the intoxicated person, was that initiated by one of us or her staff?
It doesn't say. You see, it doesn't give that much detail.
But if I understood from what you said, yes, that's what I thought. So I just wanted to be clear that, because I don't know if anyone caught that. But
gotcha.
I think it was initiated by your staff, which is good.
Yes,
okay, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, great. Thanks again, Charmaine. So hang on a little bit, okay? And we'll get right back to you. We're going to be doing a vote this evening as well. Chase Flavors, which is also on the line. And we have Mr. Patrick Agard, who is representing this establishment. So Mr. Agard, go right ahead, sir. Please give us the run through so we'll be all familiar.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can.
Okay. Yes, excellent. Good evening, everyone. We were before you a few months ago for the same establishment, but the they're applying for a beer and wine license, and the liquor authority, because we had put on there that they were thinking about doing an outdoor in the front.
Right.
Now that New York City has changed the law through the Department of Health on that, so we would have to show that they went through that process. They have opted not to do that process because it is quite expensive to do that. So we had to send in another 30-day notice to show that we are not going to do the outdoor dining in front of the establishment. So that's why we're back. So those of you, for those of you who don't remember, it's located at 508 East 94th. That's between Wilmore and Church. And the owner is Miss Angela Mills. She's also the one who owns D Garden Caribbean on Avenue D.
Yeah.
And and the hours for this establishment is from 11 to 11. And it's going to be mostly concentrating on a lunch and early evening crowd. And they plan to be heavy on takeout as well.
Gotcha. Okay, great. Thank you, Mr. Agard. I appreciate that. Commerce Committee members and just members, do you guys have any questions for Mr. Agard?
Yes, this is George. Hey, Mr. Agard, how are you?
Hey, George. Good evening.
Okay, yeah, quick question, because I don't see the on the agenda. I don't see it that I don't see it listed. So is this number one? Is this a renewal or is it a new? It's
no,
a new.
it's not a renewal. It's an update. The liquor authority, because on the 30-day notice, we had put that they were going to have outdoor dining. They are not going to do that. So we have to bring it back to you all to show that they're not going to do that.
Okay, and this is just basically a restaurant. It's not like an event space.
Yeah, it's a restaurant. Yeah, just beer and wine they're going to do. Yeah.
Okay, you said beer and wine?
Yeah, beer and wine license. They're not doing full liquor.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Right. Adele, you had a question?
Yeah, we're going to say it's not on the agenda.
Yeah, well, it's crazy because there were a number of emails that went out. So I think, at least I remember correctly, the last email that would have went out came out from Farah. It should have been on there, but it's on mine, and it is definitely here, guys. I'll make sure that I send it over to you. What I usually do is post it on the screen, but the problem is WebEx for me has been so flaky tonight. I don't want to take a chance on getting knocked off again. So that's the only reason why it's not posted on there.
No.
Okay.
Hassan, can I ask
Oh my
gosh.
Hang on a second. There's a whole lot of people talking.
Yeah,
so,
no, I just wanted to give you an FYI. There are only two things listed on the agenda. Is Sugars to Go and Legacy Lifestyle. Are the only thing that I have.
Not a problem.
Yes, me too. But my question is, was another agenda sent out after that with the new agenda?
It was. Yeah, it was. You guys just might have missed
Can I
it.
just make a suggestion, please? Can I make a suggestion that when you send it out, a second one, can you write updated agenda in the email? Because usually when we get a reminder, we don't always look at the agenda again because we've already got it.
Understood.
I looked
That
at
makes
the
sense.
agenda. I only have 2 things on there.
Wow, that's weird. Okay. Well, we will fix that, guys. For the committee members, my apologies. I'll put it on me. I know that I sent over a few emails. I know that Farah had sent over some, so it just might have been one of those things where it got mixed up. But we will definitely, in the subject matter, I will indicate that there's an updated agenda item as well. So you guys will draw your attention to that so we won't have this kind of confusion. So thank you guys for bearing with us tonight. And we will endeavor to do better. Okay. And there were some questions. I know that anybody
I have
else
a question.
Yes.
Hassan, I have a question. Yeah.
Okay, Khadija, go right ahead.
One of the questions I do have is for the organization for the company that's restaurant. What was our vote the last time in regards to their
application? I know that if I remember correctly, because I don't have it offhand, but we did approve this, obviously. But I don't remember what the number, the count was, if that makes sense. Okay, I have to go back and look at the what our minutes say and that kind of thing. So I don't have that handy. So my apologies for that. But we can find that out. I can find that out for you and send that over to you guys if that's okay. All righty.
So are we voting on them also tonight?
Yes.
Just to get confirmed.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, great. Lastly, any other questions for Chase the Flavors LLC? All right. Hearing none, moving on to Quillox Restaurant and Lounge LLC, Mr. Israel. Sir, I know you've come before us before, but please, if you don't mind, just restate your organization, your business. Give us the whole enchilada, and then we will, the committee members will be asking you some questions, okay?
All right. Good
Is
evening,
it
everyone.
possible for them to come on camera, Hassan?
Well, I don't, well, no, I mean, I guess if they want to,
Thank
sure.
you.
Yeah.
So we could put faces to these odors.
Yeah.
Is it possible, I'm a little under the weather, is it possible for us to get the updated version of this agenda? Because
yes,
I didn't even know about this one either.
Yes, I will make sure that you get that. Not a problem. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Sure. Go right ahead, Mr. Israel.
All right. Good evening, everyone. So this Quillox is actually for a different address. I mean, I was there probably like I think 3 months ago.
Yes.
So for this address, we came on 2023. So but there were some open inspection that was supposed to be done for the location. So we paused the liquor license. So the liquor license was actually approved by the community board. So it's gonna be like a lounge, and the opening hour is gonna be from 10 to 2 a.m. Then on the weekends, we're gonna extend to 4 in the morning. So the address is 9505 Church Avenue. And so, I mean, the place is open right now. So, but last year we opened like a cafe where we sell juice and smoothies and coffees, you know. So now we're trying to open the full restaurant. So we're applying for a liquor license.
Gotcha. So right now you have just the wine, beer, and cider?
No, we don't have we didn't pursue the liquor license at all. But it was approved by the community board.
I was making sure that I made that distinction because I know that you were serving juices and that kind of thing and coffees and all that. So that's good. Okay, great. Okay, just want to make sure I had that. Okay. Anything else, sir, about your?
I mean that should be all for now.
Okay, awesome. So committee members, in the interest of time, if you have any questions, you can please pose it to Mr. Israel from Quillox Restaurant and Lounge.
Are you the same restaurant or event space that wanted to do a rooftop too?
Yes, but that's a different location actually.
So how far is this location from the other location?
It's not far. It's like it's on the 10th Street anyway, because the address is 9508 and this is 9505. But when I came 2 years ago, the liquor license was approved by the community board, but we didn't pursue it because the landlord was trying to like fix up the inspection and stuff like that. So, but we opened last year with the juice bar, and now everything is ready. So we want to open up a full kitchen and open the restaurant fully.
Gotcha. Any other questions?
Yeah, I'm a little confused. No, wait, guys, wait a second. So do you still have 9505, or do you now own 9508 Church Avenue?
We actually own the 2 stores, but the 9508 is actually paused for now.
You said it's
so this is your first time presenting to us in regards to it.
I'm sorry, I didn't get it.
So this is your first time presenting the 9508 to us. Am I correct?
No, this is 9505.
9505 is where that is at, Khadija.
Yeah, and this is not the first time. Like I said, I came 2023, that was June. So the liquor license was approved but we didn't pursue it because the place was not ready. So now that the place is ready, we need to revalidate the approval.
Can I just, Ms. Hazel Martinez, I want to ask, you have, your place is advertised, at least on your front, that it's a place for juice, coffee, and wellness. And where's the alcohol going? In there too?
No, the place was originally for a restaurant. So when the approval for the gas and everything was not ready, and we already commenced the rent and everything, so we opened the juice and smoothie. So what we planned to do originally was a restaurant, which is gonna be like a full restaurant. So now during the day we open like a juice and a smoothie bar because we didn't pursue the liquor license. Because if it's a full restaurant, we need the kitchen to be ready. And the guys had issues because the place was burnt, I think probably like 3 or 4 years ago. So the landlord had a little bit of issues getting the inspection and everything done.
Gotcha.
I mean, but,
Okay,
yeah, but
Hassan?
obviously, because the neighborhood, and I mean, like if we solely rely on the juice and the smoothie, there is no way we could break even. I mean, we know that from jump, but we just open it up so that we can leverage on, I mean, what we make penny the time that the place is fully ready.
So you have the inspection now?
Yes, 100%. The landlord did everything.
Yeah, Hassan, I just want to be clear.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because I know when he came in October 24, and it was for 9508 Church Avenue. So are we talking about 9508 or 9505 Church Avenue? Because at that time in October, it was a new application for a temporary retail permit. But temporary liquor license, basically. So I just wanted to know exactly, is it 9508 or 9505? As we talked about
9505, I'm sorry.
9505. So 9508 is in business.
No, it's not open. We shut it down because I think there were certain issues with the previous owner before. So the liquor license had some issues, so we discontinued the business actually.
Okay, so 9508 is where you had the liquor license for, right? So now 9505 is a new liquor license.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, guys?
I just have one. It's just a restaurant?
It's a lounge.
A lounge. And so, but you serve food up until what time?
2 o'clock.
To 2? Okay.
For weekdays.
And
This
is
is
there
Hazel
I think, I'm sorry, wait, Hazel, one more question. Do you have music in there?
I was about to ask.
I'm sorry, man. Do we have what?
Do you have music?
Yes.
And is it amplified music? Do you have soundproofing?
Yes. The walls are soundproof.
Okay.
All right.
That was going to be my question as well, because there's a residence on top of this place.
Right. That's right. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's not gonna be like loud music, but I mean, like it's a lounge, so we're gonna have music, but we're gonna regulate the sound. I mean, going by the timing and stuff like that.
It's not going to be like a club atmosphere, right?
No, it's a lounge.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So any last
Wait, what are the
I have
hours again? What are the hours again?
It's from 10 in the morning till 12 o'clock.
and I have a question as well. This is
But
Rita
wait, but
Costa.
it's to 4 a.m. on the weekend, right?
Yes.
To 4 a.m.
Yes.
on Friday and Saturday?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's a lounge at 10 in the morning or 10 p.m.?
No. I mean the because it's a full restaurant, so we're gonna be open for orders and stuff like that in the morning from 10 o'clock
to 2 a.m.
Yes.
That's a club.
because
And 4 a.m. on the weekend.
yes,
That's the club.
because during the day we're still gonna have the juice and smoothie going on, and the restaurant is gonna be fully open. I mean, basically, we open right now from 6 in the morning to 7 p.m. every day.
Gotcha. So ideally, so what you seem like you're saying, Israel, is that you have your juice portion of it in the daytime, and then
Yeah.
right, and then towards the latter part of the evening, you have your lounge set up,
Yes.
and that's where you're going to be serving your alcohol beverages.
Yes.
Okay. And also just as a reiteration, just to make sure, because I think there was some issues about or at least some questions about the timing. The timing that you're open is from 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. Monday through Thursday, and then on the weekends, your closing time is 4 a.m. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure I got that too.
I mean, if the business is good, I mean, but if not, definitely we're gonna close early. You know, we just want to leave the time open. So just so the days that we close late, it's not gonna be an issue. You know.
Sure. Okay, great. And I think I want to give one last question, and I'm gonna give that to Adele, so we can move on from this. Go ahead, Adele.
My question is, how many people? Do you have the occupancy information?
75.
Fire information, fire code information. Fire department.
75, man.
Again?
75.
And from the information from the fire department?
Yes, I mean, based on the information we got from the landlord, and there's a backyard too. So,
Do you have that information? You need it for the business.
I'm sorry, man.
Do you have the information from the fire department for the inspection? Everyone do their own, have to do your business. If you don't have 75 people in there, you have to have a place of egress.
The capacity is 75.
Hassan, can you?
No, I think because I think we're having a little trouble hearing you, Adele. But what I think Adele is.
I'm not even in that room anymore.
But listen. Hang on a second, Adele. I think what Adele is trying to say, Mr. Israel, is that she wanted to see if there was any the report, the fire report, or the certification from the fire department that you've been certified. Do you have that information versus having it in your whether or not your landlord has it? Do you personally have that information?
I could get that.
Okay, you need to get that.
I was there when they did the inspection, so.
Right, you need to get a copy of that to us. That is part of some of the requirements that we need. So we absolutely have to have that. Okay. Great. Okay, so thank you for this.
I had a question.
Sorry,
Mr.
Bree, I apologize.
I apologize.
Bree will be the last question because she did tell me she had a question. Sorry, Bree.
And I may have missed this, but I did just hear him say he has a backyard. I want to know if it's going to be in use. Because after a certain hour, you don't want to disturb neighbors. So what's your plan for the backyard space?
It's just a sit-down area, so.
As far as speakers and music is concerned, what can
there's no
neighbors
music.
expect?
There's no music. I'm sorry, there's no music in the back because you see the 9508 is pretty much the same thing. There's a big backyard, but there was never like loud music or whatever over there.
Right,
So
but even having people in the yard from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. or 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. or 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. is a lot for a neighbor.
It's ambient noise, and ambient noise carries.
So we could set a timeline for that. I mean, based on what the community board approves, probably 10 o'clock or whatever time.
By 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I mean, we can have some stipulations to that. But what I also recommend you do, Mr. Israel, this is all part of being a good neighbor. Is it's okay to reach out to your residents, right? Reach out to them, knock on their door, tell them a flyer, let them know that you're here. You want to work with them. Make sure that they know who you are. Make sure that they have your contact details. Let them know that you do have an outside backyard that you're going to be using for business. This is the time that you're going to be using it. But you want it to be respectful of our neighbors. So, those are things that you have to proactively do. So I would recommend you do that. But we can put a stipulation that perhaps having people outside beyond 2 a.m. is you should not utilize the back area. So that might be something that you want to do.
All right, sir.
All right. Okay. So with that being said, I wanted to make sure, in the interest of time, we also have, and thank you, Mr. Israel, for going through that exercise. Just hang on, don't leave. Okay.
All right, sir.
Lastly, we have our cannabis dispensary license this evening. For Legacy Lifestyle, we have Mr. Shanduk McFadder, who is here. Is going to be presenting. I think they're at 5901 and 59.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you. You never mentioned their police report incident.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You are absolutely right. I apologize. Thank you so much for that. Looking at the incident report, as again, the incident reports are based upon a year fixed yearly area. There are no incidents for this location. No noise complaints. No nothing. So that's a good thing. It's a good thing. But thank you so much for that.
Building, they're not using that building, so there wouldn't be any report.
Well, there might be, because something might have happened there. A shooting might have happened there, but you couldn't charge that to the new
Yeah,
owner.
he's not right. They're not open. So.
Right.
No, we open for
Oh, you
business.
are open. Right.
It's last year, yeah.
Right. But the point that I'm making is that there are no incidents at this location. Okay. So thank you again, Khadija, for mentioning that. I appreciate that. So moving on from this gentleman, as I said, we want to move in right directly into our Legacy Lifestyle LLC at 5901 and 5911 Church Avenue. This is an adult use retail dispensary. Mr. Shanduk McFadder is going to be presenting here to our committee, and it is a new application. So, Mr. McFadder, you go right ahead, sir. Are you ready?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Good day. Thank you for having me. So I don't know what information you need. I can start with the details, and I'm open to answer any questions.
Sure.
We are opening as you said, what is called a conditional adult use.
Can you put the camera on, please?
Our camera's on, sister.
His camera's on.
I'm on, sister. That's Khadija, correct?
Thank you.
You got it. It's two of us. That's my partner, Orange Sylvester Manis. He's on as well. He's on his camera. We are a conditional adult use retail dispensary. For those who may not be familiar with it, when the Marijuana Taxation Act was passed in New York State, the first people that were granted licenses were people from disproportionately impacted communities, who had family members or themselves had any past marijuana convictions before it was legalized. You had to show proof of business in order to be granted a license. I am someone who applied 2 years ago when it was first legalized, through the numerous lawsuits that happened in New York State. Since the release of licenses, we had to wait to go through a process before we finally got approved for our license in June. We now have 5901, 5911 Church Avenue, which used to be a Dunkin' Donuts. And our goal is to open up the first drive-through that we've been able to identify in the state of New York, right here in East Flatbush, that will provide not just drive-through, but also a retail space. And our goal is to build community economic development and reinvestment into the East Flatbush area. The OCM, New York State OCM hours are at 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. So currently we would stay within those guidelines unless there was a reason that we see to do, or we were told it would make sense to do something else. But that is the basis of the new retail dispensary application that we're submitting.
Great. Great. Anything else you want to talk about your business in terms of the size? I know what it looks like because I remember Dunkin' Donuts was over there, but just tell us the square footage and certainly a little bit more about, if you can anyway, the types of products that you are looking to have as well. And I know it's only for adult use, so I know there won't be any children in there, that kind of thing. But can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. So first and foremost, before we were able to apply for this space, we had to assure that it was within 1,000 feet of another dispensary. There's a couple of East Flatbush about a mile or so away. We had to assure it was not next to any religious facilities within 500 feet and or any schools, which we confirmed it was not near any of those areas. We also had to make sure that we were able to secure real estate in order to be able to get into cannabis. The way it's provided in New York State, you had to have a provisional license, then provide real estate before you get a conditional license. We of course will not be serving to anyone under 21. You have to be ID'd before coming into the establishment. There are also requirements by OCM on what we can put on our windows, our marketing, such to protect our community. We plan to have a flower. We plan to have vapes. We plan to have edibles, and we plan to have products that make sense to legacy consumers, people who've been consuming for years before it's legalized, as well as new consumers who decide to come to the market. It could be anything from pills, which helps with sleeping, tinctures, there's suppositories. So there's so much in the cannabis market right now, and we're looking into the market as it's been in New York to determine what best products will suit the community, and that's something that we'll do once we're able to move forward by going out to community, understanding those who are interested, what type of products make sense to them.
Gotcha. Great. Okay, wonderful. So with that being said, I'm assuming that you're finished with your presentation, right, Mr. McPhatter?
No, I thought there was questions. So if there's no questions,
I
can.
Yeah, but there are questions. But there are.
My hand was up.
Hang on a second, guys. Hang on 1 second. I was just telling Mr. McPhatter that there is a Q&A which is followed now. I just wanted to make sure his presentation was finished.
No, I can. Yeah, I can definitely give more. I got more. I didn't want to hold people too long, but I can go into my background and how I get to the community, or whatever makes sense.
Right. Well, I think probably some of those things will come out in the Q&A. So I know that Marguerite and then I think George had some questions. So Marguerite, go right ahead, and then George.
My hand was up.
Hazel.
Yeah, I see Hazel. I see Adele.
Hazel and Adele.
Yeah, gotcha. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't have my hand up because I figure Hassan can't see our hands, so I'm sorry. I'm going first though.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So the address is 5901 and 5911. Is that like combined properties?
Yes.
Or is that the parking lot of Dunkin' Donuts? Like what was the parking lot?
Yes, it's a parking lot. There's a parking lot. So we have a parking lot, the drive through the parking lot, as well as the next is a block and lot space. That's what's identified as 5911.
Okay, and so yeah, if you could speak a little more about the drive-through part of it, because I don't really understand that. And then my next question is, you're only open from 8 in the morning to 12 noon? Is that what you said? Or 12 midnight?
8 to midnight is the allowed time for cannabis retail dispensaries within the state of New York, based on OCM guidelines currently.
Adele, you have to mute your phone because your feedback is coming. Please mute.
Okay, so 8 a.m. to 12 midnight. And yeah, so I don't understand how the drive-through works. Like people can just drive up. How does that work with like ID and all that stuff?
Correct. So it's already been it's happening. It's happening in other states. It's happening in California. Me and my partner went to California and actually visited one. You can look it up. It's called Wallflower, and there's others in that has drive-through has been happening for years. So we are now seeing what that looks like in New York, right? So there's same thing as Dunkin' Donuts already set up for a drive-through. Only thing we would have to do is create our online apps, because we're going to have online presence. We're allowed to have delivery. Excuse me, thank you, because I didn't mention we're allowed to do delivery as well. So we're going to have an online presence. We're working to create online apps for pre-ordering. so that someone who's drive up. A lot of people don't want to get out of their cars, so they can. By the time they get there, the order is already filled. We're not talking about something that takes 5-10 minutes to make. There's no prep time. It's already there. So by the time they order, it gets to the fulfillment center, and they're able to drive right out. They, of course, are ID. If we don't have a system that's already pre-identifying them, we're going to identify them before they purchase any products.
Okay, so they can't just drive up and order something. It's got to be pre-ordered.
Correct. At this time.
Oh, at this time.
Because that's all we
may
know.
change.
It can't. We don't. It wouldn't make sense to change it because
Yeah.
the goal is to be able to make it a smooth transition for people who already pre-ordered. So we have the retail space with the parking lot for someone who needs to come in and spend time making a purchase.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
George is next.
Yeah, mine gonna be short because basically the two questions I have. Hi, Shandok, it's George.
Hey, George.
Yeah. All right. Tate.
Yes, I know. I know.
Basically,
Good to hear you.
right. It was the two questions that Marguerite asked. Was my question. One, because you did mention 8 to 12 p.m., but you meant 8 a.m. to 12 a.m. So 8 a.m. to the 12 midnight. Yeah, just to be clear on that. My other question, and I'm still not clear, is basically the address. You guys said 5901 and 5911. So my question is there anything in between 5901 and 5111? That's the whole area is the parking lot, and it all belongs to you guys.
Yes, correct. So when we went to change over the meter, they National Grid had it as the meter at 5909, right? So they didn't even recognize 5901 or 5911. So yes, the correct answer is from 5901, which starts a dispensary, to the block and lot space, which is an office type space currently, which won't be part of the direct retail dispensary, is 5911.
Okay, so there's no other business in between 5901 and 5911. That's
No,
all
sir.
yours. Yeah,
Correct,
thank
sir.
you.
You
Yeah, that
got
was
it.
it.
All right, and then we got Hazel and Adele, and then David, I think.
Hazel Martinez. 5911. I know that. What will you be doing with that piece of property?
Oh, so we actually so I didn't get too much into it, but so in order for me to qualify for a license, I had to have an established proof of business. In East Flatbush, several years ago, I started a nonprofit that I brung over there called GMAC, which is Gangsters Making Astronomical Community Changes. And we're built on stopping gun violence and changing the norm in our community. And so GMAC is part of this business as well, because we're going to continue to do community events and help the community. In cannabis, there's a 40% reinvestment that comes from the sale of retail stores in New York State. 40% has to go back into community investment. And there's a 4% tax that goes from every dispensary. So for example, Legacy will be creating revenue for this community at a 4% tax that gets broken up into the local community. So we're going to be doing community events around educating people around the safety around cannabis and just anything that makes sense to helping build up East Flatbush as me being a community leader. So that spot won't be selling any cannabis at all. It will be just in the retail space.
Oh, because I know that spot was very filled with mold inside of it. So I don't know, you'd have to do a lot of renovation to.
Thank you for that. We just actually took property of the possession of the property about a week ago. So we are finally getting to go there and look at it.
Great, thanks. Appreciate that. Go ahead, Adele, and then David, I think was the last question. He had the last question.
What I was going to say is maybe you didn't do your homework well enough, because there is a school within 200 feet of that building. I know it. I live over there.
What school are you mentioning, ma'am?
It's an Orthodox school. It used to be a charter school. Now it's an Orthodox school. It's down the triangle as you pass Ralph, the other side of the triangle. There's a school right there. Burger King.
But there's a respectfully, there's a proximity report that is ran that you can actually look up yourself, which is ran by the New York State Office of Cannabis Management. We verified it several times that there is nothing within that area that violates that proximity.
Well, that's a little funny because I live over there on Kings Highway, 2 minutes from that, but where you would have put the Dunkin' Donuts right there, and I know the schools. I pass it all the time. They don't know the area.
Well, we can check that out, Adele. Let's look into that piece. So we'll have to verify that. All right. I know that the regulations are governed by the Office of Cannabis Management. That's for sure. So we can do our due diligence to follow up with that. So that's not a problem. Okay, great. And then we had sorry, it was David and then a Khadija, right? Looks like it. Or David, did you put your hand down? Yeah, David, you're still there. And then Khadija.
Yeah, hi. Good evening. Just a couple of quick questions. Are there only 2 owners? Is that the final plan, or will there be other owners of this business?
Thank you. That's a great question, David. There are only 2 owners, and there will only be 2 owners. And he's on the phone right there. That's Sylvester.
Okay, awesome. Second question: are you from the neighborhood?
Yes, I grew up in East Flatbush. I hung out in East Flatbush. As I mentioned, there's a lot of people who know the work that I've done in East Flatbush directly. So I'm not somebody that's just coming with an opportunity to come into East Flatbush to open up a for-profit. I've run a nonprofit once again for many years within the East Flatbush community directly.
Okay, and are you currently a resident of Brooklyn?
Yes, I am. Always been, born and raised.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And Khadija, I think, was a person who was next.
Okay. Hi, how are you? I have a few questions, but mine are more focused on the community. I do know about GMAC because I've had work with them through the census and through Human Health and Services. So I do know that you guys do great work. In regards to hiring, are you going to use staff from GMAC to be doing the work or training them over there to work for your new establishment? How much are going to be local hires within the community? Like, you've never really went into details about the local hires. So I would love to hear more about that.
Thank you very much. That was a great question. So yes, that the answer to that, no, it's not. So yes, excuse me. No, there'll probably be about 2 or 3 people that has been with me that will come in to do certain jobs, but we're looking to bring in people from the East Flatbush community, and we're looking to train them. There's cannabis workforce initiatives, New York Cannabis NYC that we've been connecting with to bring trainers and bring people from East Flatbush, 21 and older, that want to get into the legal cannabis industry. So that is our goal, is to bring jobs to East Flatbush as well. And yes, new hires.
Great. Any other last questions, Khadija?
Yeah. Security. What is the security? Can people sit in your space and actually vape or smoke? Or is this a place where they can just do a pickup and that's it? There's really no lingering around.
Thank you. Good question again. So according to the license that I have, the license allows for consumption if you have an open area. New York hasn't finalized the regulations on consumption, so no one is really doing consumption until those regulations are finalized. You are not allowed to consume inside of any retail dispensary. You're only allowed to purchase and go. So some dispensaries may have a space where you can just communicate or have a vibe and get to understand and be educated if you want somebody to help you through your process, but there is no consumption allowed inside of any legal retail dispensaries in the state of New York.
Great. Any last question, Khadija? Are you good?
I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, great. Well, great. I think we have all
Is
expended all the
David good? Did
questions.
Dave ask his question? Because I see his hand up. I don't know if you see it.
No, he asked his question
Oh, yes,
already. He
okay.
did. Yeah, he did. Well, I want to thank you for going through that exercise. We've done a few of these.
Okay. I'm sorry. Can I just seen a message. I'm sorry, brother.
Sure.
Because someone has a concern. I'm someone who knows how to deal with concerns. So please feel free to bring it out. And so she said, drive-through is next to homes. That was the message. And I would love to hear your concern. How does a drive-through next to a home? Because every business is next to a home. How is that a concern to you? Because I'm the type of person that's going to keep my community safe. I'm known for that. And I will go to those houses and build a relationship and make sure that they're safe. You know, I've been dealing with violence prevention for years, and this goes back to Khadijah's question as well. Yes, we will have security to secure the premises, as well as top of the line cameras that's going to protect every angle around that building and that block.
Mm-hmm. Because last year, the other side, we had an illegal weed place, and they had shooting over there.
I respect and understand that. And once again, remember, we are.
Malcolm Lemson.
Yes,
All
we are.
kinds of
We are.
mistakes.
Yes, we are licensed. We're not illegal. There's a difference between illegal. We have the right to have armed security as well. We've been investigating, looking into that to see what that looks like for our dispensary. And once again, I'm someone who knows how to communicate with the local precinct. I work with the commanders within the 67 precinct, and I know how to identify negative activity in my community. The one thing I can say is my focus is safety, not just for the business, but the community surrounding with anywhere that I'm doing any type of business. So I seen that message, and I saw it was a concern, and I'm the type of person that I'm always here to answer to any concern. So thank you for sharing that. Excuse me, Hassan.
Yes, sir.
And I'll mute my mic.
No problem. No problem. Thank you guys for all of the questions and your concerns, committee members. Now you guys see, business owners, now you guys see why we have such a robust committee. I want to thank them for all their questions. They're always thought provoking and inspiring, and certainly you guys make me proud and make me look good because the stuff y'all come up with is just amazing. So I got a lot from that. But we're going to be taking our vote very quickly. I do know that we do have quorum based upon the number of committee members who are here. So we certainly do that. And what we can do is we're probably going to vote on all of these together. I have to say that I have to abstain from the Legacy Lifestyle LLC, and because of my relationship with GMAC and the work that we've done together and all of that. So I will be abstaining from that, but certainly we'll take the vote otherwise. Farah, can you assist with this also?
Absolutely.
Hassan?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think I may have to abstain too because I've done work with them too. And I have a GMAC t-shirt that I wear and all that.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes,
so
sir.
I have to
Understood.
abstain.
I appreciate you. I just want to mention that this is not a GMAC application. This is a Legacy Lifestyle application.
Yes, we know that. We know
No,
that.
yeah, no, because we have personal
With me,
work
I understood.
with you. That's why I don't want any conflict.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
we walked the streets together and put in community work. Yes, you guys did. I agree. Yeah.
Yes, sir. All right, awesome. So let's start with Sugar to Go. And certainly we'll start there with
Sugared Hassan, not Sugar to Go.
I apologize. Sugared. I'm so sorry. Yes. So can we start with Sugared? And certainly you'll be obviously we'll be making the recommendation for them to go before our full board. And certainly this is just for all of the businesses. The vote that we take today is a vote that you will be going to our full board, which there will be a vote in February. I'll get the date for you as well. And you'll be able to go, you have to go, unfortunately, through this exercise again with the full board, but that's where the vote will be taken as a board. So we're sort of progressing this on. This is just the way things are. So with that, with Sugared, let's start with that. Can we take the vote, please? Are you ready, Farah?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, fantastic. So Adele,
Sugar, yes.
okay. Sabine,
Yes.
all right. Ayana, sorry. Okay, Dan. Dan, if you're speaking, we can't hear you. Is Dan still on? Doesn't look like he's on now. He might
I
have
don't
dropped
think
off.
Mr. McCabe is on anymore.
Yeah, it looks like he dropped off. Okay, so let's move on. Hazel.
Yes.
Okay. David.
Yes.
All right. Bree.
Yes.
George.
Yes.
Okay. Marguerite.
Yes.
Okay. Cheryl.
Yes.
Okay. Khadija.
Yes.
Allison.
She's on another call now.
Okay. All right. So, is she okay? Well, we'll have to. If she can, if she could tell you what her vote is, and just and we can record it, that would be great as well. Did I miss anyone aside from Allison?
Tawa.
Oh, sorry, Tawa. Yes. What's your vote,
Yes.
Tawa? I apologize.
That's okay. Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Great.
And
Okay.
are
and
you
I-
voting, Hassan?
Yes, I was getting ready to say I'm voting, and yes. All right, fantastic. All right, moving on. Chase, the Flavor LLC, that was represented by Mr. Patrick Agard. Let's do the same exercise. Adele,
I abstain. There wasn't any agenda.
I didn't hear you. Say that again?
I said I abstain.
Okay. Sabin?
Hi, I do have a question. Is that the one with Israel presenting?
No, that's not. This is the one that Mr. Agard had presented, the gentleman, the glasses. Sorry, say that again? I couldn't hear you. Were breaking up. What did you say? Are you there?
I'm sorry, could you just say that? Could you just say it again, please? Because I just heard some background, that's why.
Okay, so I was saying that this organization was represented by Mr. Patrick Agard. Okay, he was a gentleman with the glasses and the bald head.
Yes.
Okay, so you're saying yes, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Dan is off. Hazel?
I'm going to abstain because I didn't hear that presentation.
Okay, no problem. David?
Yes.
All righty. Allison? Oh, Allison's off. Bree?
Yes.
Okay, Tawa?
Yes.
All right, George?
Yes.
Okay, Marguerite?
Yes.
All righty. Cheryl?
Yes.
Khadija?
Yes.
All righty. Great. And it's yes for me too. All right. We're moving along. We're moving along. Quillock's Restaurant and Lounge LLC. Okay. And we take the vote for that. This is the gentleman Israel. Okay. So, all right. So we'll start at the top. Adele?
No.
All righty. Sabin?
I'm gonna abstain. This one I had a lot more questions. There were just, he needs a little help, I think, because I was listening very carefully with the time, the way it was set up. So if he's going to present, I just think he needs to flush things out and just organize a little bit, because there was just a lot of different moving parts.
Understood. So you're abstaining, you're saying?
Yeah, I just feel, again, I understood what he was saying at some point, but it was just a lot of moving parts. It was from morning till evening, then it was late. I was just trying to organize it in my thoughts. That's all.
Gotcha. Gotcha. No
Too
problem.
indecisive.
All right. Dan McCabe is off. Hazel?
I'm gonna abstain from that one, that's all.
Okay, no problem. David?
I'm abstaining as well.
All righty. Allison's not on. Bree?
I'm voting no. I have concerns about the backyard. I know you mentioned it being something he could discuss with the neighbors and potentially being out until 2 a.m. But I have, not only do we have to consider neighbors who are older, but also people with young children. So I'm gonna say no.
Okay. Great. Then we have George?
Yeah, but based, and I'm going back to the October when he came and he did the presentation, and based on that, I would have to say, and from what I knew from the background and what he said tonight, I would have to say yes.
Okay. And Marguerite?
I'm gonna abstain.
Okay. Cheryl?
Yes, but next time if you could define lounge, what lounge means.
Okay, fair enough. Khadija?
I'm going to say no.
You're saying no? Okay. All right. And I'll say yes. And I think I've covered everybody for that. Okay, yes, I did.
No, you didn't ask Tower. Yes.
Oh, Tower's yes. Oh, sorry, Tower. I apologize. I thought I got you, but okay, good. Okay, awesome. So thank you guys for that. And then now we are at Legacy Lifestyle LLC. And we'll go down the list again. And just I just as for the record, for point of clarity, I have to abstain. So Adele?
I'm voting no stipulation that they check the addresses. 555 Remsen Iverson.
Sorry, you said you're voting no. You said you vote. Would you say that again?
I'm voting no with stipulation. I want to check the addresses because 555 is a school. I pass it almost every day.
Okay, so you're voting no with stipulation.
Yes.
On verification of the address.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, great. Sabin?
I'm gonna vote yes.
Okay. Dan is gone. Hazel?
No.
Okay. David?
Yes.
All righty. Bree?
I'm going to abstain.
Abstaining. All righty. Tawa?
Yes.
All right. George? Oh, George, you said you're abstaining, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir. I got you. I got you. I got you. Marguerite?
I'm going to abstain.
Okay. Cheryl?
Yes.
All righty. And Khadija?
I'm saying yes. Is it possible for us to speak to some of them a little later after the meeting to give them some information that they need to use in presenting to the board?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Great. Well, I think Hazel, quick question. Is Allison available? Is she still on her call?
On her call, she's not voting.
Oh, she's not voting. Okay. No problem. All right. So then while Farah tallies up the votes on that, let me sort of set the expectations for our business owners. The next step in this process.
I'm sorry, Hassan.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I have just a quick question before, because you see a difference between not voting and abstaining? Because, I can't vote because of knowing him, and I have done the work with the organization. So it's not really that that's an abstention could count as no, but I am not voting. Basically, that's what it is. You follow me?
Yes, I do understand, and I understand why you said that you're abstaining, and it's the same reason I am as well. So I agree with that. I hear
No,
you.
but I think, Hassan, I think
No.
what George means is that the abstention would count towards the no, and he
Yes.
doesn't want it to count towards the no. So he's
Right.
not
I
gonna
am not
vote.
voting.
And I'm sort of confused why, if you know what, that's more of a reason why you couldn't say yes, because you know the person in the business.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
But
but
it's a conflict of interest.
yeah,
It's a conflict of
It
interest.
could be a conflict.
And how so? And making
How
money?
is it a conflict? Okay, so when we say a conflict of
hang on, ladies and gentlemen. Hang on just a moment. Okay? Hang on just a moment. I have to set the stage. We are not going to debate conflicts of interest this evening. And because that would be something that the conflicts of interest department at community boards would have to talk about that. And we can have someone come in and discuss that with us and what those ramifications are. But with my vote as abstention and the way we voted, both myself and Mr. George Tate, is the correct way to do it because you don't want to have any impropriety or any perception of conflict of interest. Okay. So I just wanted to bring that out, but I didn't want to have start a debate on that. We can talk about that maybe at our subcommittee meetings a little further to kind of get into the nuances of it. But I just want to make sure that we keep things moving. Okay. But thank you, George, for that. And thank you, members, as well, for being so conscientious. Okay, great. So, Farah, do we have the final tally for everyone?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and you go right ahead. I'll leave it open to you.
So there were a total of 11 Commerce members who voted tonight. So for Sugared, it was 11 yeses, 0 noes, and 0 abstentions. For Quilox, it is 4 yeses, 3 noes, 4 abstentions. For Chase the Flavor, it is 9 yeses, 0 noes, 2 abstentions. And for our
Sorry. Sir, go back to the last one. The last one. Let's go back to Quilox, and then we'll go from there. Sorry, I didn't get everything. Go ahead.
Yes.
Give me the numbers again.
Quilox is 4 yes,
Right.
3 no,
Right.
and 4 abstentions.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
And then the next one is Chase the Flavor, which is 9 yeses, 0 noes, and 2 abstentions.
Gotcha. That's right. Okay.
And our last one, our cannabis application, that is going to be 5 yeses,
Right.
2 noes,
Right.
and 4 abstentions.
Okay. Great. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you so much for tallying that information, Farah. Really appreciate it. So what I was going to say, business owners, and just listen to me very carefully, the next step in the process is for you guys to move before the full board, okay, to present your case, pretty much what you did here this evening. And I just want to look at the schedule for that date is, I think our general board meeting is on February 19th. All right. So February 19th, and you'll have to appear in person for that at the SUNY Downstate, which is 395 Lenox Road. I do have the address right, Farah?
I believe so, but I can double check.
I think
For 395 Lenox Road, it's going to
Right.
be in the SUNY Downstate Auditorium. When
Right.
you go in there, just follow the flow of traffic.
Right. And the meeting gets started at 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Yeah, but what I'll do and what we always do ahead of time is we'll send the agenda so you'll know the timing or somewhat the timing, an estimated time when you're coming up to present before the community. Okay. So with this being said, I think that Sugared to go certainly would be moving forward. Well, everybody would be moving forward. Chase the Flavor, Quilox. And Quilox would be moving forward but I think that
no, it wouldn't.
well, let me say we have 4 yeses, we have 3 noes. Oh yes, that's right. They wouldn't be they would move before the board anyway, but we would say that we would not be recommending that they move before the board, if that makes sense. So that's something that they'll have to present their case before the board anyway, until we change that. It's the way that the current chair has it. You know, because it used to be where when the committee, the Commerce Committee in this case, doesn't recommend it, they don't usually go before the board, but that's since changed with this current administration on the board. So they'll be moving forward. They'll have to present their case, and then that'll be adjudicated, or the full board would have to determine whether or not they'll get their recommendation from the SLA. So you'll be going through this exercise as well. And Legacy Lifestyle, they have, I know they had 5 yeses, 2 nos, and I think 4 abstentions. Yeah, so they'll also be moving along in the process. So we'll have to go through this exercise again, guys. As I mentioned, you know the date. Did I tell you the date? I think I did. It was February 19th.
Yes.
PM. Great. So you'll get an email and with all of the information that you need to move forward in the process. Normally, what happens, guys, is that if you come before our committee, the general board meeting is typically the next day. But because we have 5 weeks in January, the way that everything fell, last week we had our general board meeting, and now we're having our Commerce Committee meeting because we are the 3rd Tuesday of the month. Okay. And so that's kind of the way it happened. And that's why you have to appear before everybody in February. All right. So if there are any other questions, you know, certainly reach out to the community board office or myself. We're more than happy to, you know, answer any questions for you. But I want to let you guys go ahead and go.
Before you go, I'm seeing that one of the business owners, Israel, has his hand up. I was wondering if that was an old hand or if that's a new concern he wanted to bring up.
I don't see any. Well, you see the hands. I guess I can't see it. So it might be an old hand. So I don't see it on my thing.
No, I think he recently brought it up.
Oh, okay. So who has their hand up?
Israel.
Israel. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, going by the vote, you said I still need to come for the community board meeting, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right. And what I would, Mr. Israel, what I would recommend you doing, sir, because there were some questions that the committee had that were, even though you answered them and they peppered you with a lot of questions, there were still some things that they weren't 100% clear upon. And I think you're going to run into this problem again at the community board meeting. So what I would recommend you doing is also bringing someone else with you, whether if you want to designate that person as your spokesperson or whatever, I don't know, just to, you know, answer those questions as well. This will help you in the presentation to the board. Okay. It would also help to mitigate a lot of the questions that you had.
All right, sir. I mean, it's actually the same business I've been doing in this neighborhood all along, and I never had any issues. I mean,
yes,
it's pretty much like a restaurant that serves liquor, you know. I mean, the neighbors,
Understood.
you know, I mean, like we give back to the community and we do all those stuff. I never had issues over here for like 5 years.
Yep.
I've been here since, I mean, the reason we left the 9508 was because the landlord was going to be taking like 7,500. That was the reason I came like 2 months ago.
Sure.
So the rent was actually crazy. And I mean, considering the neighborhood, we don't really make money like that, you know. So, but I put a lot of investment in this place all along for over 5 years. And for the backyard, it's a covered backyard. I always cover the backyard to make sure there is no, I mean, people getting issues with the backyard and stuff like that. And for the timings, I mean, it's a restaurant. I mean, we open in the morning so we could like take care of Uber Eats and stuff like that. Then,
Sure.
But I mean, like you suggested, I mean, I'm probably gonna get someone to come with me, you know. But
yeah, I mean, just bring some and just bring someone with you when you guys talk and y'all present, and
Can I just say something to the gentleman?
If
I
it's
think
quick.
most of our concern was the backyard and the time. So if if you can make concessions and close the backyard early and maybe even close the business a little earlier than 4, I think you might get a better response
Right.
from everybody, because I think that's the main problem.
all right, man.
Yeah, and that's sound advice. So all of the things that we're talking about here is just also to make sure, because I know these things are going to come up in the community board meeting. So I'm trying to help. We're trying to make sure that if you do that, if those same questions that come up, that you'll have responses for those, and you'll be able to present as well. All right. But
Yeah,
thank
and
you,
one thing,
Mr.
right? I'm
Israel.
sorry.
Can you say this to him, like Israel? I think if you include everything that you just said, as you being a long time, 5 years,
Yep.
you've been in this community, you've done these things, lay it out, explain more, like, okay, after this set time, include that in the package. If you
Right.
include that in your package, you'll have less people asking you questions.
Yep. Yeah.
That's what it is.
Right. And yeah,
Sorry.
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So I completely agree. Oh, sorry. And Sabin, you had a question real quick.
Sure. No, I'll be I'll be brief.
Okay.
Israel, just be mindful. And I think one thing that came up was the definition of lounge, because I did listen to you carefully. There was the restaurant, there was the lounge, and I think Hassan was even helping to clarify. So just be mindful that you don't, because lounge conjures a different image as opposed to it's a restaurant. If it's a restaurant slash lounge, just be very clear. That's what I was listening for carefully. Just my observation. That's all.
Gotcha. Good point. Good point. All right. Great. So thank you, business owners, for going through this exercise with us. I will see you guys on the 19th of February at 7 p.m. But look out for the email. We'll be sending out an email for that agenda and where you are in the place. But if, like I said, if you have any questions, certainly you can reach out to me and reach out to the community board office. We'll be able to answer any additional questions that you might have. Okay. But thank you again so much. And we'll look forward to seeing you in February. And you don't have to stay on for the rest of our meeting. So I want to let you give your time back for this meeting. All right. So thank you again.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you all.
You're very welcome. Very welcome. All right. Committee members, thank you guys so much. You are amazing. I have to tell you, man, y'all are on point. Sharp as I don't know what. I truly, truly, truly appreciate all of the questions that you asked this evening. And the thought that you put into it shows you have a lot of concern for the community. But you also we also make sure, and I think it's evident that we make sure that we want successful businesses in our community. We want to support those businesses, but they also have to be good neighbors, So that's key. They always have to be law-abiding, compliant, good neighbors, right? So that's kind of what we do. And I think I just want to applaud you guys for doing that. You did an excellent job tonight. I know that there was some confusion about the agenda. I'll make sure that we mitigate that next time. I think it was because we had a lot of emails. That was the one thing. And then the other thing was the two of the applications, both Chase and I think Quillox, came after. So after we had sent out an agenda. So I'll be in the future, if that ever happens, we'll make sure that we put an update on the agenda indicating you guys should know that this is an update. And I'll double check to make sure that you get it. Okay. So I put that on me as well. And I want to thank you guys for the amazing questions you had for Randy as well. Lastly, we have to approve our minutes. So did everyone get the minutes for December's meeting? Don't all talk at once now. Did y'all get it? And also, did you read it?
Yes.
Yes, I got it.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. So with that being said, can I get someone to make a motion to accept our minutes for our December meeting, 2024?
I make a motion to accept our December meetings.
And who's that?
Khadijah.
All right, Khadijah, thank you so much. Do we have a second on that?
George Tate seconds.
All right, thank you guys so much. All right, so lastly, last two items on our agenda, any unfinished business? Okay, hearing none. Sorry?
Yes.
Who's yes? Who's that?
They said you did a walkthrough in church. But my question is, what are you going to do about that issue on Church Avenue?
Sorry, you're breaking up again, Adele. What did you say? You said something to walk through?
I said, yeah, you did a walkthrough last time, about 2 months ago, on Church Avenue. What was going to be the result? Was going to be action taken?
Oh, okay. So what happened was, we never did a walkthrough. We did a walkthrough on Nostrand Avenue.
Okay.
Right. and I think that was done by Jabril. I don't think he's on the line tonight. So we'll have to defer to him on that. But we didn't do the walkthrough yet on church. That's what we're trying to do now, which is one of the reasons why I mentioned it to Randy and having them be partnering with them. But we have to address those concerns as well. So during the walkthrough, which we're looking to do in February, right? It's one of our areas that we're trying to work on. We'll address. I know you had sent me some pictures too, and I have to talk to you about that offline.
Yes.
I know that we have some immediate concerns with health department issues and all of that, but we have to do the walkthrough with. We're going to be doing. We haven't done a walkthrough on Church Avenue yet, and until we do that, we'll have a better understanding of those issues on there and how we can address them. With the exception of what you've already sent me, Adele. Okay, so I just wanted to mention that.
And I will send you another picture.
Yes, you did. You sent me pictures of the tow truck and all that. So that was.
That's the name of the company that followed me. That has the name of the company on it.
Yes, ma'am. You do. Yes, absolutely. All right. So
we'll get about maybe 10 minutes ago.
Okay. I haven't looked at it, so I'll look at it again. No. Okay, great, guys. So we are at the ending of our meeting. It's a long meeting that we had tonight. I'd love to have someone to adjourn, or at least ask for an adjournment for our meeting at 9:23 this evening. So can we ask for?
9:23.
So someone make. Was that Adele making a motion to adjourn at 9:23? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Can we get a second on that?
Second, Khadijah.
All right. Thank you, guys. So before we go, this is the last thing I promise you, and I will give you guys your time. I certainly want to send and say a special shout out to George Tate, Hazel Martinez, Sonia Clark, Jabril Morris, and you guys for coming out to the on-site visits that we have. It was great sitting with those business owners. We're going to be doing more, coming up pretty soon. So I'll give you guys the dates and times. I have to tell you, all of the members, you don't have to come to those, those on-site visits. If you can, good. If you can't, that's okay too. But the idea is that we go out and make sure that our presence is known, and there's a lot of great information. You get a chance to see these beautiful establishments and experience their business owners and know about their story and all that. So I invite you to. Okay, say that again. Somebody said something, but they must have been okay. So I'll with that, I'll let you guys go. Have a wonderful evening. I will be reaching out to you guys. Please look for my emails. I'm sorry there'll be so many because there's so many things happening. And so, yeah, but I'll let you go and have a wonderful night. Okay.